Through past mistakes, we learn what to do and what not to do, and how to help our children and when to take a step back. I'm Darlene Morgan, and I record stories from my past and my current time that have taught me so many lessons and have taught me how to trust God throughout it all. Catch me on Facebook, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and occasionally Instagram. Search Tinge of Bravery, and please share and subscribe. Okay, I just got through working in the yard, and I really wanted to take time and do a recording because I have not been on here for about a week or so, and I want to make sure that I am trying to get some content in to share, because every single day is something that I feel like I can definitely share with you through my experiences and how we are trusting God throughout it all. This one's a little more difficult because I don't normally like to talk about my girls and their experiences in sports, because it can be a very touchy subject. And of course, I've learned from past experiences with my with the girl's dad that there's a lot of things that you should not say, and things that you just try to how do I say, just kind of like overlook and just hope for the best, I guess. But as I started, through past experiences, you really do learn what you can do and how you can help your children throughout the entire process of having them play sports. And I am not good at it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I am absolutely not good at this at all. I see a lot of parents that are able to talk to the coaches and visit with them about, their child, their athlete, and what they can do, how they can help their kids. Or, some parents are even bold enough to, ask the coaches, what they're thinking and what their plans are. I'm just not like that. I guess I'm not comfortable enough because I always feel like I don't say the right things, or I'm going to say something that is going to cause, my daughter to, not have her position or her place on a team. And, I was talking to a parent the other day, and she said this one sentence, and she said, "Hey, you know what? It's a two-way street." And she's right. I think when we as parents, we wish that, our kids were on certain teams, and we hope that coaches will take them. I think we also want to know that coaches want your player to be on their team. And we want transparency, and we do want it to go both ways. Like, we want to work so that we get our places back, or our kids get their places back on teams. But we also want the ability to have control of knowing that we can kind of, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? We have the control to say whether or not they're going to be there for that particular team as well. And not like in a bad way, like, our kids deserve it and stuff like that. But, you pay a lot of money for this stuff. And so you want the ability to control the situation. And, I really don't say this like in a way of being, holier than thou, and like my kid is better than others. No, it's not like that at all. I think I come from a situation of, for me and my daughters personally, of, we don't have a lot of money, but I know my daughter loves certain sports, and I know she wants to be on certain teams. And so we have to think very wisely about how to keep her on teams or how to potentially, um, you know, get her on a team. And so I come to this subject because it is tryout times for softball and volleyball, which is literally nerve-wracking. I mean, if you talk to any parent, regardless if their kid is outstanding or, very confident and stuff like that, it's still a very touchy time because you don't know if your child, unless they're the coach's child. I mean, that's completely different and expected. You don't know what the coaches are thinking or what their plans are, for the next season. And even if you've been on that team, for a year or two or whatever, you still have to go through the motions of trying out or wondering if you're going to get your spot back. However, I think we have to be very wise and very smart about how to navigate this journey for our kids. And through past experiences, I've learned that you can't wait. Even if your child wants to be on a particular team, I think if a past experience has taught you to be very careful about the situation and go ahead and have your child try out or go to open gyms or go to other practices for softball or whatever, all you're doing is just setting the pace for what could possibly be available. It doesn't mean that you're going to go um, and, oh my gosh, this is so freaking hard because I want to be so careful about what I say, but I don't know why I want to be so careful. I mean, everybody goes through this stuff, and I think I really just need to speak my mind and stop worrying about how it's going to be viewed because all we're doing is looking out for our kids. I had my daughter go to open gyms for volleyball because I didn't know what to expect from her team. And from past experiences, I learned that you can't wait. When you wait too long, you miss out on other opportunities and chances. And, my daughter didn't want to do these other open gyms and camps and stuff like that because she really liked her team. She liked the coaches. She liked who she was on the team with. She liked her position. And she appreciates comfort and security. That's just who she is. Now, from a parent's perspective, what I see in my daughter is she's a hard worker. She's athletic. She takes it serious. She puts in extra work, whether it's with coaches on the side, doing private lessons, whether it's doing some, playing, in the front yard with her sisters. She's just constantly on the move, even like watching what she eats and just having, that time where she is just, working with other kids that have the same goals in mind. And so, when I think about her, this particular year I knew was going to be different because her particular team was combining into one team. There was two teams, they were combining into one. And that told me that I had to be very forward thinking in what we did for her. I didn't want to hide anything, from her coaches, but I also knew that I had to at least put her out there where she could be seen by other clubs. And that's what we did. It was not easy. I really had to do a lot of convincing with her. I had to recruit her big sister to talk to her and, give her a lot of confidence and just kind of lift her up and let her know that, this is kind of the time that, she kind of maybe should start thinking about, what the future lies ahead for her. So as a result of this, here's what happened. She really worked hard. She, worked with her current coaches to, maintain her position, and even did, a private lesson for a new position that they would have brought her back on the team for. Not necessarily the position that she wanted. She's a setter and she loves setting, but she just knew she wanted to be with that team. And, that was her first pick. But as we went to these other open gyms, she had an opportunity to see, how other clubs work and how other players play and stuff like that. And on the way to these other open gyms and this tryout, oh my goodness, she would sit in the seat beside me. She would be super quiet, and in a way, she kind of had a particular attitude about it. And she was super upset. I'm just going to be honest. On Thursday, she was really upset because I was taking her to an open gym, and she was just determined that she didn't need to do it. She was going to get her place back on her original team. And I almost did not take her. I literally almost just, threw my hands up and let her have her way. Until her sister said, "Mom, you have to make her go." And my response was, okay, if I make her go, you guys cannot hold this against me, because we've had numerous talks about making your kid do things that they don't want to do, pushing them in sports that they don't want to do. And, that's it's a very important subject that, it requires another conversation. You don't want to do that. On the other hand, there is the you got to cover your butt situation as well. So I made her go Thursday to an open gym. And on the way there, I try to have a talk with her that let her know that the only reason why I was doing this was out of love and care for her, which was absolutely true. I love her and I care for her. I see a lot of ability in her. And I told her that because of that, it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. Thinking more about college and her future. And if she goes and tries out or goes to these other open gyms, it was an opportunity for her to just get more touches on the volleyball and more practice and more challenge to herself. I let her know that I talked to her about how, hey, you just got to work hard. You would rather work hard and have all the skill and ability under your belt, and for who you are as an athlete. That way, in the future, when she's graduating, she's looking at schools, she's prepared for schools that maybe she didn't think she could get in as an athlete. As opposed to if she saw a school that she wanted that was maybe a higher rank, and she didn't take these years to push herself and practice and work hard, she would have less of a chance. Does that make sense? Like, in other words, I was just trying to explain to her that it's better to just take these next few years and really just put all the skill and work into it. And that way, come time when she went to go try out or be seen by colleges, she had greater options, as opposed to be underprepared and then want a particular school that expected more of her. That's what I'm talking about. I explained to her, look, you want to go and you want to be seen by more than just a few coaches. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not making yourself to be better than others. It's not meaning that, hey, they're going to pick you. They're going to, contact you for this team. I mean, you still can go back to your old team. It just means that at least you're being seen. You want to be known. And I think that really set in with her. because she went to this particular open gym on Thursday, and she had a couple of coaches from this particular club walk up to her and ask her name, and she gave it, and it made her feel good. And it made me feel good because I felt like, for once, as a mom who knows absolutely nothing about sports, I felt like, okay, I did something right. I don't know a darn thing, but what I do know is determination and perseverance, and that's pretty much what we've done over these past few years that her dad, the girl's dad, has been gone, as we've pushed through, and we've just been super strong. And that is what I know. I don't know, like, the dynamics, the exact rules and stuff of sports, but what I do know is what it means to press on and be determined to get something that you want. So we left that open gym, and she really did feel good because she was spoken to by a couple of coaches, and that made her want to go back 2 days later to a tryout, even though she was contacted by her current team that they wanted her back. So we said, fantastic, we're going to go to this other tryout for the same club that she was at on Thursday. And when she went to that particular tryout, once again, she was approached by a couple of coaches, not to mention a college coach approached me and said, hey, I just recommended your daughter for this particular club, and man, you talk about this mama's heart swelling. That was absolutely huge, and it just made me realize that, all we can do is try and just be where we need to be, where God plants us. And that really applies to everywhere that, you think you're supposed to be. You just got to pray about it first. So we left that tryout with a potential offer for one particular team, and then got a phone call for another team. It's hard to explain, but for this particular age group, there's 4 different teams. She got an offer for one of the teams, and we're hoping for the other team to still come through. It's all a prayer, but nonetheless, she definitely has a place on this particular club, which is a good thing because she got a phone call that same day from her original team that said they were dismantling. They weren't going to have a team after all because they didn't have enough girls. That's heartbreaking. I felt really bad for those coaches because they had a lot of heart and they really liked Clara, and they were super worried about telling her this too late. When I told them that she had went to this tryout, I was very honest with them, and I said, look, I gotta tell you guys this, but we still went ahead and went to this particular club's tryouts. And when I told them that, they were so happy that we did that because they liked Clara. They loved having her play for them. And they were super worried because they know that she has a lot of ability and a future in volleyball. And we just had a great conversation, and, they gave us their blessing and said, if we ever need anything, to let them know. And hey, that is all God. You think God isn't in sports? He is. When you put him first in what you're doing and you just give him your praise and your prayer, and you just say, hey God, you already know what's going to happen, that's when he shows up, because you're trusting in him. And that's pretty much how we operate in our life. So I guess where I'm going with this is that I feel good as a mom that I did something right. I navigated this whole process of open gyms and tryouts, and I pressed my girl to do a couple of them, and it turned out to be the right decision. And my oldest daughter, on the way home, even commended me and said, gosh, Mom, you really did good, like getting Clara to all these practices and open gyms. How did you do it? And I said I had help. I asked for advice, and I put everything on a calendar, and we went to some, we didn't go to others, and I just prayed. I gave it to God and I prayed. And so he came through. There's still a lot of unknown because, of course, there's the cost of everything. And, we still don't know for sure exactly what team she's going to be on, but we do know that she does have an opportunity. And I think that's a great thing because I see a lot of good in the future of her and where she wants to go. And hey, the future is unknown, but what is for certain is the presence of God. And you can pray to him about stuff like this. You can pray to him about sports and, where you should go and what you should do. And then you just have to give it to him. It's insanely hard. It's absolutely hard. But I know from the past years and several years beyond that that has been my go-to. I ask God to come into my heart. I ask him to direct me. I ask him to let me know what I need to know, what I need to do, and what he wants me to know. And then I just try as hard as I can to throw my hands up and say, okay, now I wait. And now I wait for you to just let me know what's going to happen. And that's it. And so now I'm going to end this and hope that I made a lot of sense to you guys. I want you to know that you can definitely rely on God even when it comes to something like sports, because that's super important. You want his presence in your life, not only in your life, but in your home and in that of your athlete, your son or daughter. Praise him first. Be humble. Thank him for all the ability that he gives your son or daughter, and then just keep going and just pray that, that direction is given. Okay, so that's it. It is going on 22 minutes. I'm so sorry I took so long, but it was kind of something that has been on my heart and my mind. And right now I get a get because I've been working in the yard and our patio set is up, and I hope someone is in the house starting dinner so I can finish it and then we can eat outside and enjoy this absolutely beautiful evening. I've got more on my mind about work and being home and taking care of my girls, but I'm going to leave that for another day. Right now, my prayers continue that we just continue to have that direction for my daughter and just thank God and praise him all the way. And I want you to do the same thing. Ask God to come into your heart and your mind. Seek him first and definitely just give it all to him. So, bye guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe and share because I'm going to keep creating content and I'll make this happen. All right. Take care.